I wanted to try to paint with some paints that I haven't used before. I bought these because they were dirt cheap and I just wanted to try them out. And I'd heard some good things about them for an inexpensive paint, that they are actually pretty pigmented. These are Marie's Watercolors, and I bought them from Jerry's Artarama, and they were on super sale for $6.99 for the 18 tubes. They are 12 ml tubes, so they're pretty large. They should last a while. I put them in this Mijello airtight palette that I had, and before I even really thought about it, I put them in the same order that they were in the package, not realizing I should have moved this white out of here. This is really bugging me that that white is there, and I would have rearranged this completely, but it is what it is, and I'm not too upset about it. We'll see if I end up using these very much. So if they were something that I was using on a more frequent basis, this would really bug me. But I'm going to leave it as is. So if you have these paints and you decide to put them in a palette, just a note, if they come like this, with the colors kind of out of order, see there's a couple more reds over here, I would have rearranged this completely so that these were over here with the other reds and the yellow was starting in the beginning. That's how I usually go. I usually go yellow, orange, red into my purple, then my blue, green, and then like yellow, ochre, browns, those kind of things. So this is not how I would personally like to lay them out, but that's how they came in the package, and I just put them in the palette the way they came. So I'm going to try and paint with these tonight. Got my little color chart here I just made really quick just to know what I had in there. And I'm going to get, this is some fluid watercolor paper. I got a block at size 6 by 12. I'm going to do some Forsythia branches coming this way. And since paper towels are getting a little low, I just got a flour sack towel that I don't really like to use for dishes, but I'm just going to use it as my painting towel from now on. Alright, I am going to get a round size 8. This is a Princeton Velvet Touch Brush, round size 8. And I'm going to mix up a yellow. I'm going to try this Gamboge color. And I didn't prepare this palette very good, so everything is going to be very beaded up. I do have to get quite a bit of water, it looks like, to get these. And they've been sitting in this palette for probably about a month. I bought them a month ago and put them in there right away, and then I just let them to dry, and I came back. So they've cracked quite a bit. I'm not sure what they're made with as a binder. There's not really any information in the package, and what there is not in English. It didn't, yeah, there's no ingredients or anything like that on the inside, so, and very limited information on the tubes themselves. It's in, I think that, I'm not sure what that says, so we will just have to see how this works. All right, I'm gonna use more of this Gamboge. Okay, see about diluting that down. Alright, that will be a nice Forsythia color. Alright, and Forsythia is just kind of, let me see, how many petals does a Forsythia have? Let me just double check that really quick. I saved a couple little images here. Maybe I'll have a little vase or something to decide. Alright, it looks like they're about a 5-petaled flower, and sometimes there's like 2 or 3, just depends. So I am actually going to draw out a little can or a vase or some kind here. Got my water-soluble pencil. I'll make this look like a metal tin or something maybe. Alright. Some of that Gamboge, and I'm just going to start going up this way. I'll make Some of these will just be like 3. I'll just make this look kind of very loose, just make random petals going in different directions here, and then we'll add in our sticks afterwards. Here, there's a little smaller maybe. This is nice for doing a nice tall arrangement like this 6x12 paper. I kind of like this. I've never used this size before. Okay, that pigment does not go very far. I need to get more. And then I'll have a lot more here toward the middle, like where all the branches are meeting up. So just kind of take your brush and just add some dabs, but leave lots of white space. And we're just giving kind of the illusion of those flowers, not really wanting to be every little petal. We're not painting every little petal. As if you're doing a loose flowers, you just want to have that is what your eye is seeing. Instead of I'm zoomed in on each little flower petal, you're looking back from far away and really all you see is shapes and color. You don't see every single little flower petal. So that's something, if you are having trouble with doing loose flowers, to think about. And that's something that I struggle with as well, is that I want to put all these details on it when they don't really have all that. Okay, so I'm getting kind of a straight line here. I want to add some out here, maybe a couple. Okay, we'll go back in and add our stems and the sticks, branches, I guess we call them. They're branches because they're a bush, right? Okay, so I'm going to switch down to a size 6, and I'm going to work on this little bucket. All right, so I want to do this kind of like a gray color. I've got an ultramarine in here. Let's see, this is violet, Prussian blue, ultramarine. Okay. Yeah, with these, I am noticing you really have to get them pretty wet. I think I might actually get my little spray bottle here to help me wet that. Get a lot of water in there. I'm very used to painting with my Daniel Smith paints, so they generally barely have to get any water on them for me to get the pigment going. But this, I'm noticing I really got to get quite a bit. Okay, so to make a gray, I want to use some of this burnt sienna. Spray that too. My spray bottle's running out of water. This is just a little mini mister bottle that I have from my stamping supplies. It's Ranger ink, like Tim Holtz stuff, if you're interested in that. All right, so I'm gonna mix that burnt sienna in. Yeah, that's kind of like a steely gray blue. I like that. Okay. We'll add some browns and stuff in there. All right, so I'm just gonna paint my tin vase here. Trying to work fast here because this is an alpha cellulose based paper, not cotton, so it's drying a lot faster than if I used a cotton paper. All right, just curve that top, and I'll just add a little bit of the bucket on the edge here. So I'll probably cover most of that up with the branches. Okay, so while that is still a little wet, add like the shading on this side. So there's no indigo or anything like that in this set. Seems like the Prussian blue is very pale. I think I'll just try this burnt umber. Again, having to get quite a bit. I don't see myself using this set a whole lot. This may become a kid's set, honestly. Maybe just I just don't see myself when I'm so used to using the really good professional paints. It's really hard to go back the other direction. But if you were just starting out and learning, this would be a good set to try, especially because it's very cheap. But at the same time, you don't want to get frustrated that you're not getting the results that you see if you're watching videos on YouTube and you want to do what everybody else is doing. You're not going to get the same results. I mean, a lot of people argue it's the paper, it's the brushes, it's the paint. It's kind of all of them, in my opinion. I mean, you can make it work with student grade paints. You can make it work with really inexpensive paints, but I mean, not all student grade paints are created equal, in my opinion. I really like the Art Philosophy Art Watercolor confection sets that I have, and I have a lot of those. I don't show them very much in my tutorials just because I tend to just use the same paints. My Daniel Smith, I'm adding here just a little bit more of that ultramarine over here. I will say that I do prefer to use a 100% cotton paper though. That is something I do like quite a bit. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit of, blend that out a little bit. I'm going to end up with a lot of blooms, I can tell, but I'll just give an interesting texture, I guess. Okay, that'll look kind of neat. I'm going to dry this so that I can go in and add my stems without everything bleeding together. Oh, looks like the adhesive is already peeling up from the heat on this block. Notice on here it's kind of like almost like a solid plastic edge instead of, it's only the two sides, it's not all four sides. So something to keep in mind. Maybe I shouldn't use heat on this particular block. All right, I'm going to switch to around size 4 to do all these branches, and since that dark brown is just not dark enough for me and there's no real other options in this set, I'm just going to use the lamp black, and then I'll mix some of that burnt umber. I'll just kind of mix it right over here. Oh, I really need to refill my spray bottle. There's nothing left in there almost. Alright, I want to try and get like more of like a sepia color is what I want to end up with. I'll take that burnt umber. Okay, that's a pretty nice dark brown. Almost black. Okay. So in here, there's also going to be like some little green leaves, but I'll add those in afterwards, just kind of fill in a few little spots. So kind of following where I put these, the Forsythia branches are mostly straight, but then they have a few little like curvy, curly little ends. So I'm going to start here, come up. I might have to add in a few more little flowers here afterwards, and just kind of going around my flowers. And just, and when I get out to the end, I can add these little curly strands like this. Meet up with my flowers. Start a new one. And a couple little curly ends in there where I could add a leaf in. If you feel more comfortable switching to a smaller brush, I might recommend using like a 1 or a 2 for this actually. I'm just trying to use as gentle pressure as I can so that I'm getting a nice thin line. And let that connect up. And you don't have to be too precise with this. Like, if you miss out on some, just have the idea of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just if you have them kind of spaced out here, make sure you have a little branch connecting those, though. Those will be very noticeable, but some of these in here, it's not as. I'm going to have random branches, and I'll add in some leaves. Okay, I'm going to take some green. I think I'll use this sap green, and the yellow ochre doesn't seem to be very. Maybe I'll do the green deep, and then I'll mix some yellow ochre with it. We'll try that. Still using my 4. Man, I don't have a pipette or anything around here. I'm just going to keep adding some more water. Okay, there, got a nice little olivey green color. Well, you know what? I think that one will be a little bit brighter. A little more green. There we go. Like a bright olive green. Okay. I'll just do a couple little leaves here and there, kind of sparse, because what the Forsythia looks like is mostly the yellow foliage. I'm not really sure if they're considered flowers, but I'm just gonna put a few random in here and there. Kind of vary where you put them. Any places that you feel like there's a little bare spot that needs something, maybe that would be a good spot to add them. A couple up here more at the top. Alright, knowing when to stop. That's very good. Okay. I'm going to go back to my largest brush here. This is going to get more of that gamboge color. I'm going to add a few more that are here more at the base of the pot, and then I can kind of fill in the back, get rid of that white space of the pot. And just put one right here. Just add in a few more. And then I'm just going to dab in a little bit more yellow in a few spots in here, just to kind of fill in some more of that white space. There would be some in the background behind it, very light. Okay, so now I'm going to take care of some of this little white area. I'm going to dry that really quick so I don't bleed. Okay, so using that same color that I used to make my stem foliage, just take that, kind of mix in everything I've got on my palette there, and I'm just going to fill in all this white area of what would be the inside of my vase. There we go. want to do a little shadow area, that would be something we could try. Get a little bit of that ultramarine and the burnt sienna. Make myself a nice gray. There we go. Dilute that down. I guess I'll have my light coming from this direction. And I'll just kind of get a little bit of a shadow. There you have it. There is some watercolor Forsythia branches.